we mentioned it before we pressed record, Bomani Jones, and you mentioned Cowherd deserves some props too. Monica McNutt was asked by Bomani, how do you talk about the WNBA? And it seems like such a simple question, but it's not. It's and Monica did a beautiful job in describing it. But how would you describe how to talk about the WNBA?
I think you have to talk about all the parts of it. You can't just pick and choose. You have to understand where it was previously, the journey of it, the players involved in the evolution, where it was just a couple of years ago to where it is now. And in all of that, you have to understand that this is the most diverse professional sports league in the world. It's the most outspoken. These women, it's like it's a community within the league. They support each other. Yes, you're going to have players who don't always get along, but when there's a larger issue at play, they have each other's backs, and we've seen that. So you have to understand what's happened off the court, what's happened on the court, what's happened within the organization. You have to understand that this is a league made up the majority of Black women, that a lot of the players are LGBTQ plus, that they have their own social causes individually and together. All of that, all of the intersectionality comes into play. I feel like with men's leagues, you don't necessarily always have to talk about that. But with this league in particular, it's just all wrapped up. There's just so many moving parts that you have to keep in mind when you're talking about these players and these teams in this league. That's not to say you can't just have fun talking about basketball and who they are and on and off the court and all that, and in rivalries and dynamics. I mean, it can still be all talked about at once. But yeah, I mean, I think with men, with male sports writers and commentators and even former athletes, current athletes talking about the league, treat them like athletes. I mean, that's really the most basic principle. They're not delicate flowers, they're athletes first.
Yeah.
They're professional athletes. And if you could treat dudes the same, treat them the same way when you talk about male athletes, I mean, that's pretty much a basic premise. What Colin and Bomani were saying was like, we were ill-equipped to jump into this conversation without having any of the context.
Why was it so easy for me to admit that when I got into covering male sports? But it's like pulling teeth with men to be like, yeah, like I didn't realize like what I was going up against. Like, I don't know how to talk about this. And I mean, I played baseball as much as I possibly could, but I definitely show up in the clubhouse like, I don't know what this means. Like, tell me what this means. And for them to admit that, it's like,
Yeah, I mean, just think of how more prepared women have to be at their jobs, whatever that may be, especially in sports, right? Doris Burke, when she was covering men's college basketball and women's college basketball and the WNBA and the NBA, can you imagine how much she had to study or just take in and research and prepare for every time she spoke? Like, I don't understand why men can walk in and not think, I need to learn these players. I need to know more than just the name Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson. I need to know how to pronounce these names. I need to know who they played for and what they've done in their careers so that I can speak intelligently about where things are at right now. If a woman came into a situation to talk about the NBA without any context or knowledge or didn't do her homework, could you even imagine? So why aren't guys expected to do the same?
Right.
That's like a major crux of the issue right there.
I agree. And I'm glad you mentioned Asia, because it makes you think of the time that she like quote tweeted, was it Clay Travis or something? Like, this is how you pronounce my name if you're going to bash on me. And that's the first thing you learn. Any broadcast I do, if I mess up the entire thing, I will pronounce your name correctly, damn it. Like, just get the basics there. And that's what I don't understand is the different dynamics. And here's the thing, like walking into a clubhouse as a female reporter, I can confidently say, yeah, Dallas Braden and I do not have the same MLB resume. Like I've never played in the league before. So if anything, they give me better answers and they're not mansplaining to me. They're just like, oh, she's genuinely curious. I want to help her because they know I didn't play. So why wouldn't that help them in the other way around? Like it drives me crazy sometimes.
It would help them, and it would help them inform their opinions and so much better, just to have like context and nuance and, add to the conversation, make it more productive. It's something that's, I feel like it's just so basic and so simple.
It is. And they don't anyways.